Hello and welcome to this week's review video. This is Myung Kim, and last week I talked about the energy bands in semiconductors. This week I'm going to talk about electrons and holes of semiconductors. The electrons, first of all, are a subatomic particle that carries a electric charge, and it is important to us because when electron moves from conduction to valence band, it conducts electricity. Next, I'm going to talk about a concept of holes. The holes in semiconductors are a fairly new concept because the hole only exists in a crystalline lattice structure. The crystalline lattice structure has a very uniform distribution of atoms. So when one atom leaves the structure, it's gonna keep remaining empty, and it's gonna be very noticeable. For example, think of a classroom packed with students. When one student leaves without permission, the whole class are gonna be very much more noticeable because there's one less seat, one empty seat in the whole class. Next, I'm going to talk about intrinsic semiconductors. Intrinsic semiconductors, in definition, are fairly simple. When the numbers of electrons and holes are the same, I'm going to say concentration from now on. When those are the same, it's called intrinsic semiconductors. However, when the balance breaks, the concentration balance breaks, it's now going to be called extrinsic semiconductors. And extrinsic semiconductors are solely made when we inject our donor and acceptor atoms in the intrinsic semiconductor. The donor atoms are usually from a group 5 materials that has way more excess atoms than our regular Si group. When the donor gets into semiconductors, it's gonna give us their extra electrons. Hence, they are called donors. And the acceptors are the complete opposite. They lack the numbers of electron, and they're from group number 3, such as borons. And borons, when entered into the semiconductor space, is gonna take the electrons. Hence, they're called acceptors. When the donor gets into the semiconductor, obviously there's going to be way more number of electrons than the holes, and that is called N-type. And when the acceptor gets into the systems, it's going to be called P-type. And those two types are going to be important from now on. And that's the whole concept of it. That's all for today, and thank you for listening. This has been Myung Kim.